This video tutorial will cover using LinkIt to view an assessment's item analysis to help drive instruction with data. Once logged into LinkIt, navigate to the reporting module. Then click on the dashboard. Once on the teacher dashboard, if you notice that there are no assessments visible, the first thing you will need to do is adjust the date. To adjust the date, first click on the calendar icon at the top right-hand corner of your screen. You may check this box to use this start date in future sessions so you do not have to set the date again. In order to set the date, first click on the calendar's header row. One click will give you the option to choose months, 2 clicks will give you an option to choose years, 3 clicks will give you an option to choose decades. For the purposes of this video, I'm going to choose 2014 and August 1st. Make sure that the day is highlighted in blue and click OK. To verify your date choice, check the upper right-hand corner of your screen. First, select a class under the View Class pull-down. Note that you can look at data for a current year's class, as well as data for prior year's classes. Next, uncheck the box restricting to tests taken in this class. Then, under Test Type, choose LinkIt, as our common assessments are given using the LinkIt platform. Next, we're going to choose Language Arts for our subject, and then we're going to click Update. The class dashboard gives you an overview of how students performed on all of the chosen assessments. From this overview, you can easily see that the assessments all scored around an average of 80%. By hovering with your cursor over the bar graphs, you can get more information about the number of students scoring at this proficiency level. You can also choose Show School and District Results to compare your class to the school and the district. To look at specific student results for one given assessment, click on the green Student Results icon. Here on the Student Results page, it is easy to have an overview of how your students performed given the color coding. You can easily sort this data by clicking on header rows. 1 click will give you ascending scores, 2 clicks descending scores, and 3 clicks return you to the default, which is sorted by student's last name. On the student's result page, you will notice a class average at the bottom of the table. One feature of LinkIt is the ability to hide students. In order to do this, one thing you can do is select one student, hold down the Shift key, select another student, and all students in between will be chosen. Also, holding down the Control key on a Windows computer will give you the ability to pick one student out of the list. In order to deselect a student, you can also hold the Control key down, click that same student, and they will be deselected. In order to hide their results, go to the Options pull-down and choose Hide Selected Students. You will notice that the average has changed to reflect only the students that are visible. In order to restore the students, go to the Options pull-down and select Restore All Students. To navigate back to the class dashboard, click on Class Dashboard under the breadcrumb trail. Now we're going to look at an item analysis for the same assessment. To view an item analysis, click on the purple magnifying glass or item analysis icon. On the item analysis page, the first thing you may want to do is under the section pull-down, choose All. This will give you all of the questions on this given assessment. The next thing you can do on the item analysis page is show district results and school results for each question. This will allow you to compare your students' results to the entire district or school. Your class's data, stacked along with school and district data, coupled with color coding, make it easy to see what questions or standards your students may need to focus on, such as here in question number 15, 57% of this class's students did not get this question correct, whereas at the district level and the school level, a significant more did. This question may warrant further investigation. The first thing you can do is click on the number to pull up the question. Now that I know how my students fared on this question, I may want to spend more time on students deriving meaning from text. Click on the X to close the question. Now we're going to choose Show Standards and Show Question Types. Because Marlboro's common assessments are tagged in LinkIt with standards, we can easily look at what standards these questions go back to. If you click on a standard, it will tell you what questions in this given assessment covered the standard, as well as how the class, the school, and the district performed on this standard. To navigate back to the class dashboard, click Class Dashboard on the breadcrumb trail. Now that you have viewed an item analysis for a given assessment, you may be able to make informed decisions about grouping and reteaching your students. However, LinkIt has some options that may help facilitate this for you. The first is a class diagnostic. To view a class diagnostic, click on the red icon with the stethoscope, the class diagnostic button. The class diagnostic page gives you standards that students have not performed well on. You can choose the number of standards associated with given items on the assessment we're looking at. Here, we have chosen standards that have one or more question on the assessment. Again, as in everywhere else in LinkIt, you can easily sort this data by clicking on the header row. The color coding, the averages, and the ability to sort make it easy to choose standards that I should continue focusing on in my class. When viewing a class diagnostic by standard, you can also click on the standards to see exactly what students scored well or not on the assessment. You can change the threshold of identified students using this slider. The class diagnostic page also gives you the ability to view by questions. To view by questions, go to the View pull-down and choose Questions. As everywhere else in LinkIt, you have the ability to sort by clicking the header row. Clicking on a given question will show you the students who missed the question, as well as the standards that the questions cover. To navigate back to the class dashboard, click Class Dashboard on the breadcrumb trail. Using the data from LinkIt, you could form your own small groups. However, LinkIt has their own solution for this. To form groups in LinkIt, click on the blue icon for grouping. On the grouping page, you first have options to choose what tags to use for grouping. In the case of our common assessments, our assessments are tagged with standards, so this is the only choice. In addition, there are no filters to set. Click Continue. Next, select the standards that you wish to group students by. By default, LinkIt selects standards with 3 or more questions. The next thing you'll want to do is select the number of groups that you can support via small group instruction in your class. I will choose 3 groups. Your next choice is whether you want to use weighted scores or a percent. In this case, I'm going to use weighted scores. And you also have a choice to group by averages or group by cluster. When grouping by averages, you will be given equal groups. When grouping by cluster, you will be given groups based on student need alone. In this case, we're going to select group by averages so we get even groups. Then click Create Groups. Here you can see LinkIt has created me 3 groups based on the students' averages. LinkIt will also allow you to manually adjust groups by clicking and dragging a student to another group.